This video is a real find for those who are interested in the philosophy of Stoicism. It contains 50 unique Stoic principles that will help you completely change your outlook on life. Here you will learn the wisdom of the great philosophers, Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius himself. You won't find this advice anywhere else. These are deep but practical thoughts on how to gain peace of mind, wisdom, and fortitude. Each principle is a little key to help you better understand yourself and the world around you. Learn how to distinguish the important from the unimportant, find inner freedom, and live more consciously. This is not just a lecture on Stoicism. It is a real guide to a wise and harmonious life. Each rule can be immediately put into practice. Principle 1. Learn to distinguish between what you can control and what is beyond your control. The Stoics, especially Epictetus, invite us to reflect on what in our lives we can control and what we cannot. Cognitive science today supports this idea. Numerous studies show constant worrying about what is beyond our control leads to stress and anxiety. So instead of expecting things to happen the way you want them to, accept things as they are. This means that instead of fighting the current of life, we need to go with the flow and focus on our actions and our choices that we can control. Principle 2. Be guided by virtue. The Stoics believed that virtue was the foundation of a happy life. Positive psychology agrees with this idea. Research shows that pursuing personal growth makes people happier. Seneca left us with a profound thought. A wise man is content to be wise, no more and no less. These words emphasize the importance of us living according to our values rather than seeking approval from the outside. Principle 3. The power of self-discipline. Epictetus reminds us that self-discipline is essential to freedom, and modern psychology agrees with him. Numerous studies show that self-discipline is the key to success in life. Epictetus wrote, "No one is free whose mind is not like a master." These words teach us to realize that our impulses and desires can limit our freedom if we don't control them. Self-discipline is the ability to give up immediate gratification and choose what is best in the long run. Principle 4. Remember that everything in life passes. Marcus Aurelius encourages us to reflect on the fact that our existence is short-lived. Psychology argues that if we think about life in the long term, we worry less about superficial things and appreciate each moment more. A philosopher wrote, "Everything we see is an illusion, not the truth." This statement encourages us to accept the fact that everything in life passes and live with gratitude for what we have. Principle 5. Practice empathy. The Stoics considered empathy to be the foundation of healthy human relationships. Modern social psychology supports this idea. Research shows that empathy makes our relationships with others more harmonious and makes us feel happier. Epictetus encourages us to put ourselves in the shoes of others. He suggests that we cannot control what other people think of us. We can only control our own reactions. By developing empathy, we become more understanding and kind and get along better with others. Principle 6. The power of positive communication. The Stoics believed that positive communication was a way to improve relationships with others and make the world a more harmonious place. The psychology of interpersonal relationships confirms that kind words strengthen the bonds between people. Seneca advised, "If you want to be loved, love." Positive communication helps us build stronger and healthier relationships. Principle 7. Respectfully embrace differences. The Stoics advocated respectful acceptance of differences between people. The psychology of diversity emphasizes that tolerance and respect for differences contribute to a more peaceful society. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "First tell yourself what you would like to be, and then do what you have to do." Accepting differences helps us build a more just and harmonious society and treat others better. Principle 8. The power of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the foundational values of Stoicism. Positive psychology has proven that gratitude makes us happier. Marcus Aurelius wrote about what a precious privilege it is to be alive. Gratitude helps us appreciate what we have and find joy in the small things. Principle 9. Patience in the pursuit of knowledge. Patience in the pursuit of knowledge is a very important quality that Stoicism calls us to. Psychology confirms that those who are not afraid of difficulties in the learning process become more educated and intelligent. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we are given little time, but that we waste it. Patience while learning allows us to understand new concepts and ideas more deeply." Principle 10. Be more tolerant of others. The Stoics believed that it was important to be kind and tolerant of others. It strengthens our relationships. Modern psychology confirms that empathy makes our relationships with others more harmonious. Seneca wrote, "Man is sacred to man. If we are kinder and more tolerant of others, we can build deeper and more meaningful connections." Imagine you see a person on the street who is in trouble. Show empathy and offer to help him. Not only will you help him, but you will also make the world around you a kinder place. Principle 11. Mental discipline. A disciplined mind is one of the main principles of Stoicism. Cognitive psychology confirms the importance of mental self-regulation, that is, the ability to control your thoughts and emotions. Epictetus said, "You are a slave to what you do not control." By practicing mental discipline, we can get rid of destructive thoughts and negative attitudes. For example, when you are facing difficulties, mental discipline allows you to stay calm and not panic. Internal control helps us find inner harmony and balance. Principle 12. Failure is a teacher. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, saw failure as an opportunity for growth. Psychologists say that people who have overcome serious difficulties in their lives often become more resilient and wise. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Failure is a test for man. Only by going through adversity can he know himself. Through hardship, we can grow and understand ourselves better." Imagine you are having difficulty in your studies or at work. Instead of fearing or avoiding them, look at them as a chance to gain new knowledge. By overcoming challenges, you become stronger and more aware of your strengths. Principle 13. Make decisions consciously. The Stoics believed that we should be conscious in our decision-making. The psychology of decision-making confirms that conscious thinking helps us make better choices. Epictetus advised, "First tell yourself what you would like to be, and then do what you have to do." Conscious decision-making allows us to live in accordance with our values and goals. For example, you decided to learn a foreign language to broaden your horizons and gain new opportunities in life. You set a goal and begin practicing regularly to achieve it. Principle 14. Persevere in virtue. The Stoics believed that only a life based on virtue could be real and meaningful. Moral psychology argues that we feel happier when we live according to our principles. Seneca wrote, "Virtue is the only good. Virtue needs nothing more. If we strive for virtue, our lives will become more fulfilling and meaningful." Imagine a person who finds themselves in a difficult situation at work. Instead of immediately giving in to his emotions, he chose to be patient and restrain himself. This helped him deal with the problems in a more mature way and maintain good relationships with his co-workers. Principle 15. Choose your reaction. Viktor Frankl said that even in the most difficult circumstances, we have the power to choose. He wrote, "There is a space between stimulus and reaction, and in that space we can choose our response." This principle reminds us that even in the most difficult situations, we can control our thoughts and feelings, and that can change the way we perceive life. Imagine you're having trouble at work. Instead of giving in to frustration, you can choose to be patient and focus on finding solutions. Principle 16. Embrace simplicity. The Stoics believed that simplicity was the path to inner peace. People who practice minimalism say that when there are fewer things around them, they feel happier and can think more clearly. Seneca wrote, "We do not solve problems not because they are difficult. They are difficult precisely because we do not try to solve them." Seneca encourages us to simplify our lives and focus on what really matters. Imagine you decide to get rid of excess furniture and unnecessary things in your apartment. When life becomes simpler, you have more time and energy to enjoy the things that really matter. Principle 17. Value reflection. Marcus Aurelius believed that self-reflection is very important for human beings. Psychologists claim that reflection helps reduce stress and anxiety levels. The philosopher wrote, "Nothing can happen to man that he is not naturally prepared for. Reflection helps us to better understand our actions, thoughts, and feelings. Through self-reflection, we make wiser decisions that do not go against our values. When we reflect on what happens to us in life, we can change our way of thinking and begin to act more constructively. Principle 18. Be prepared for change. Epictetus taught us to accept what we cannot change and change what we can. Change is inevitable, and it's important for us to learn to embrace them positively. Epictetus said, "What matters is not what happens to you, but how you react to it." If we have the right attitude and act accordingly, we will find it easier to cope with change. Imagine you are having difficulties at work. You are frustrated and don't know what to do. After all, you can't change the situation. Then you decide to focus on becoming more competent and learning to control your emotions. This is how you will change the situation for the better. Principle 19. Appreciate the present moment. The Stoics placed great value on the present moment. The psychology of mindfulness confirms that when we focus on the present, we feel happier and calmer. Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't waste time arguing about what a good person should be. Be him." These words call us to live in the here and now. The past is gone and the future is unknown. Instead of thinking about what was or what will be, focus on being a good person right now. Principle 20. Deferred gratification. The Stoics believed that it was important to be able to give up immediate gratification for something more important that awaits us in the future. The psychology of self-discipline confirms this. If we know how to tolerate, we end up feeling more satisfied with life. Epictetus wrote that temptation is the opportunity to satisfy one's desire immediately. But if we exercise patience and self-control, we can do better in the future. Imagine you want to buy an expensive item. Instead of taking out a loan, you decide to save up the money. And when you finally buy that item, you feel not only joy but also pride that you were able to wait. Deferred gratification is a very rewarding experience. Principle 21. The power of persistence. Stoic philosophers and psychologists talk about how important it is to be resilient. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The best revenge is not to be like the one who has done injustice." Patience helps us overcome challenges and become stronger. Through trials, we become wiser. Patience also helps us not to give in to anger or take revenge on those who have wronged us. Instead of answering evil with evil, we can learn to accept challenges and move on. Principle 22. Constantly analyze yourself. Stoic philosophers believed that self-analysis helps us develop. Psychologists emphasize the importance of us reflecting on our actions. This helps us realize what we need to change about ourselves and how we can become better. Imagine that you often put off important work. Through self-reflection, you realize the reason for this habit and start working on your discipline. This is how you get closer to your goal. Principle 23. Self-compassion. The Stoics and modern psychologists talk about how important it is to have compassion for yourself. Seneca reminded us, "There is no more miserable person than one who has never faced hardship." Self-compassion is the ability to treat ourselves with kindness, especially during difficult times. Instead of criticizing ourselves and demanding the impossible from ourselves, we should forgive ourselves and accept ourselves. And this will teach us to show kindness and understanding to others. Principle 24. Constantly learn. The Stoic philosophers believed that a person should be a lifelong learner, constantly seeking new knowledge and wisdom. Psychologists say that learning enriches our lives and makes us happier. Epictetus advised, "Learn, if you can. If you cannot, teach others. If you can't teach others, write. If you can't write, at least meditate." When we are open to new things, we grow and develop as individuals. Principle 25. Effective communication. The Stoics understood the importance of effective communication. In psychology, communication plays a key role. Experts emphasize clarity and empathy in communication help us strengthen our bonds with others and prevent misunderstandings. Epictetus wisely advised, "Speak so that you are understood, and keep silent if your words are no better than silence." Conscious and friendly communication makes our relationships more harmonious. Imagine you have organized a business meeting. You listen attentively to each participant so that everyone feels heard. In this way, you create an atmosphere of mutual understanding and achieve the goals of the meeting. Principle 26. Don't obsess about the outcome. Don't think about what will happen. This is a powerful way to reduce anxiety and stop suffering. There's a term in psychology called detachment. It means that we focus on the process rather than the outcome. This helps us to reduce anxiety and feel more confident and free. Epictetus emphasized the importance of this approach. Detachment frees us from worrying about things that are not up to us and allows us to simply enjoy the process. Imagine you are a preparer for an important competition. Instead of worrying about whether you can win, focus on practicing and preparing as best you can, and you will see your results get better. Principle 27. Physical self-discipline. The Stoics placed great importance on physical self-discipline. Psychologists believe that self-control is one of the most important factors in our well-being. If we keep track of our health, we feel better about ourselves. Regular exercise and proper nutrition improve our health and make us more resilient to stress. Principle 28. Honesty in actions. The Stoics considered honesty a core value. Moral psychologists argue that when our actions are consistent with our values, we feel more fulfilled. Epictetus wrote, "A man's life is colored by his imagination." When we are honest, we live in harmony with our values and have higher self-esteem. For example, you have decided to always do your best work, even if no one sees you doing it. You are guided by integrity and a sense of duty, and this helps you keep your self-confidence even when you are not being praised. Principle 29. Be mindful of everyday life. Stoicism teaches us to appreciate the simple things in our lives. In psychology, there is a concept called mindfulness, which means being able to appreciate the present moment. This helps us to reduce our stress levels and feel happier. Epictetus advised, "When you wash your hands, when you eat, when you go to bed, be conscious of these actions." Awareness helps us see beauty and meaning in the simplest things that fill our lives. For example, when you wash your hands, you feel the warmth of the water and the touch of the soap. This simple act can be a little meditation for you and remind you of the importance of appreciating every moment. Principle 30. Manage your time. Knowing how to schedule your time is an important factor in living a productive and meaningful life. Philosophers say that when we plan our affairs and make a schedule, we get more done in time and are less stressed. Planning allows us to use our time efficiently, one of the most valuable resources we have. If we value our time, it is easier for us to achieve our goals. For example, you can make a list of things you need to do and categorize them by importance. This will help you get everything done and make your life more comfortable. Principle 31. Generosity and kindness. Generosity and kindness are important values in Stoic philosophy. Positive psychology confirms their importance. When we help others, we become happier. Seneca wrote, "Life is like a play. It's not about how long it is, but how good it is." Generosity and kindness not only make other people's lives better, but also help us feel part of humanity. Principle 32. Humility and success. The Stoic philosophers urged us to be humble even when we achieve great success. The psychology of success argues that humility keeps us from stopping what we have accomplished and helps us continue to improve. Epictetus said, "Do not worry about what you cannot control, but think about how you can influence what depends on you." Humility is what helps us maintain adequate self-esteem and not fall into pride. Principle 33. Understanding the transience of life. The Stoics understood that our lives are short. This thought can help us learn to appreciate each moment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything you see will soon be gone." If we remember that everything in life is transient, we can live each day with gratitude and peace of mind. Imagine a beautiful sunset. The sky is painted in vibrant colors and the sight is breathtaking. But we know that soon the sun will set and this beauty will fade. By constantly reminding ourselves that everything in the world is temporary, we learn to appreciate each moment, and that makes us more grateful and peaceful. Principle 34. Virtue is the greatest of riches. Stoic philosophy says, "Man's greatest wealth is his virtue." The psychology of happiness states that when we live in accordance with our values, we feel happier. Epictetus wrote, True wealth is to desire nothing. If we remember that virtue is the primary value in life, we will stop chasing material goods and find true happiness. For example, a person gives up personal gain to do the right thing. He doesn't think about what he might lose. After all, his primary value is honesty. Principle 35. Simplicity is elegant. The Stoics believed that simplicity is the real beauty. Psychologists say that simple surroundings and lifestyles foster creativity and increase productivity. Epictetus reminded us that happiness is simple pleasures. If we get rid of all the unnecessary things in our lives, it will be easier to focus on what really matters. Principle 36. Strength in failure. Stoic philosophers believed that failures can give us valuable experiences. Psychologists who study resilience say that hardship develops our mental strength. Seneca wrote, "Do not complain about your life. If you can improve it, do so. If not, resign yourself to your fate." If we keep our hands up in difficult times and keep fighting, we can accomplish more. Remember the story of Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. He experienced hundreds of failures before he succeeded. But he didn't give up. Instead, he learned from his mistakes and kept working. And eventually he invented the light bulb that changed the world. Principle 37. The wisdom of listening. The Stoics believed that listening was a very important quality. It helps us to understand other people better. Psychologists who study communication emphasize the importance of this skill in developing harmonious relationships. Epictetus advised, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." When we listen attentively to the person we are talking to, we become more compassionate and understand them better. Principle 38. Authenticity and honesty. Stoic philosophers emphasized the importance of living sincerely and honestly. Psychologists suggest that when we live in accordance with our nature and don't pretend, we feel more satisfied with life. Epictetus reminded us, "Freedom is the only goal worthy of man. It can be won by giving up what does not depend on us." When we are honest with ourselves and others, we unmask ourselves and begin to live authentically. For example, you have a tough decision to make at work. You value honesty, and so you decide to be frank about your thoughts and feelings, even if it means you have to admit your mistake. Because of your honesty, other people will begin to trust you more, and that will make your life more fulfilling. Principle 39. Manage your emotions. Stoic philosophers believed that we should be able to control our emotions. The psychology of emotions confirms that this contributes to a better quality of life. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Don't let your emotions control you. Change your thoughts and you will change your emotions." Self-reflection and controlling our emotions helps us make better decisions and not panic during difficult times. For example, you have a difficult situation at work and you are angry with your coworkers. But instead of giving in to your anger, you try to look at the situation differently. You remember that you can control your emotions, and you calm down. And because of this, you find a more constructive solution. Principle 40. Gratitude is our foundation. The Stoics believed that gratitude makes us happier. Gratitude is a feeling that is very beneficial to our mental and emotional state. Seneca wrote, "Life is like a loan that we must surely pay back. So every day, thank the world for what you already have instead of focusing on what you lack. This is how you will make your life more fulfilling. Give thanks for the small joys of each day. The sunrise, the warmth of the sun's rays, a pleasant conversation. This will help you feel happier." Principle 41. Accept your vulnerability. Epictetus advised us to accept the fact that we are human, which means we are not perfect. Psychological research shows that accepting yourself helps reduce stress levels and prevent depression. Epictetus wrote, "If you want to improve yourself, accept the fact that you will be considered stupid and shallow when it comes to external things." When we examine our weaknesses and shortcomings, we stop demanding the impossible of ourselves and find inner peace. Imagine you are starting to build a career. Instead of being afraid of making mistakes, you are prepared for the fact that you will make them. You won't blame yourself when things go wrong. On the contrary, you will be proud of yourself when you are able to overcome challenges. This will help you reduce your stress levels, continue to grow, and stay calm. Principle 42. The importance of relationships. The Stoics placed great importance on relationships with other people. Social research confirms the importance of strong social ties. People who have friends and family feel happier and live longer. Seneca wrote, "No one possesses all the wisdom of the world. Wisdom belongs to us all. When we come together and support each other, our lives become more interesting and fulfilling." Principle 43. Moderation in all things. The Stoics believed that everything should be moderate, and this is borne out by scientific research. Psychologists say that balance in our habits and in our behavior is very important for our physical and mental health. Epictetus advised, "Do not desire what you do not have. Be grateful for what you have." If we strike a balance in our desires and actions, we can live a more harmonious life and avoid many problems. Imagine that you have a very busy life. You have a lot of work, family, responsibilities, but you need to find time for yourself as well. Find time to relax and don't feel guilty about it. This will help you maintain harmony and avoid stress. Principle 44. Stay calm in difficult times. Marcus Aurelius taught us to remain calm when we face challenges. Psychologists say this promotes resilience. The philosopher wrote, "Failure is a test for man. Only by overcoming it can a man know himself." If we don't panic in difficult times and find the strength to keep going, we will become stronger and wiser. Imagine you are a student who needs to pass a difficult exam. Instead of giving up, you focus on preparing and aren't afraid to ask for help when you need it. By overcoming this challenge, you will not only pass the exam, but you will realize how strong you are. Principle 45. Appreciate simplicity. The Stoics believed that living a simple life helps us find inner peace. Psychologists say that simplifying our lives helps us reduce our stress levels and become happier. Epictetus wrote, "Happiness and freedom begin with an understanding of a simple principle. Some things are within our control and others are not." Simple living allows us to focus on what really matters and enjoy each day. Principle 46. The importance of personal authenticity. The Stoics believed that it was important to be yourself and not pretend. Psychology states that people who are honest with themselves feel more satisfied with life. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Love the life you are living. Trust the path you have traveled." When we live in alignment with our values and beliefs, our lives take on a deeper meaning. For example, you decide to change jobs because you want to do what you really enjoy, not what is considered prestigious. You are living in accordance with your nature and therefore feel happy. Principle 47. Tolerance for uncertainty. The Stoics taught us to be at peace with the fact that things don't always go according to plan in life. Psychologists say that flexibility is an important quality that makes it easier for us to endure hardship and adapt to change. Seneca wrote, "Fate leads the one who wants to go, and drags the one who does not want to." Therefore, you need to be prepared for the unexpected. When your plans fall apart or life makes adjustments, it's important to be able to accept these changes and adapt. This will help you stay calm and keep moving forward. Principle 48. Find your purpose and passion. Stoic philosophers believed that every person has a purpose, and it's important for us to find it. Research shows that people who have a purpose in life feel happier and more fulfilled. Epictetus advised, "First tell yourself what you would like to be, and then do what you have to do." If we pursue something important and do something we love, our lives become more interesting and fulfilling. For example, you have decided to dedicate your life to medicine. You study hard to become a good doctor and help people. This brings you satisfaction and changes your life for the better. Principle 49. Personal responsibility. The Stoics believed that a person should take responsibility for his or her life. Psychologists argue that this approach promotes personal growth. Epictetus said, "Instead of explaining your mistakes, correct them. Stop complaining." When we accept responsibility for our actions, we become more mature and start making better decisions. For example, you have a difficult project at work. Instead of complaining that it's too difficult, you focus on developing your skills, finding solutions, and learning from the experience. Being proactive in life helps us grow and become more confident. Principle 50. Realize the interconnectedness of everything in the world. The Stoics believed that we are all interconnected. Psychologists who study social relationships emphasize that understanding our connection to others strengthens our relationships and contributes to our well-being. Epictetus advised, "There is only one way to happiness: to stop worrying about things beyond our control." If we realize that we are all interconnected, we realize that our actions affect others and we try to live more consciously and ethically. Stoic principles are a veritable treasure trove of wisdom that can completely change the way we approach life. By following these teachings, we can make our lives more harmonious and meaningful. The philosophy of the Stoics, which today is also confirmed by modern psychology, gives us valuable lessons on how to become wiser and how to understand ourselves better. Stoicism is a philosophy that helps us cope with difficulties and overcome life's challenges. Stoics teach us that true wealth is virtue, that suffering makes us stronger, and that the key to a happy life is learning to distinguish between what we can control and what is beyond our control. We looked at the principles of self-discipline, gratitude, empathy, resilience, and humility, and we have seen that modern psychological research supports these ancient teachings. We invite you to apply these principles to your life and share them with others. Stoicism is a beacon that can light your path in life. It gives you tools to help you be more at peace with hardship and more joyful in life. Write in the comments which of these principles you found most interesting. Write "I'm a Stoic" and I'll know you've watched this video to the end. I hope you find these tips helpful. Share this video with anyone who might need it.